Don't do that during the show too. That'd be bad.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rolling Movie Reviews Live. My name is Kirk. I'm your host. Thanks for joining us on another Sunday night. First of all, with me as always is our good friend, the retro board gamer, Asdrubal. How are you today, Asdrubal?
I am doing fine. Kind of tweaked my back at work today, so I don't know.
That's not good.
Bent over to pick up something, think it was a pencil, and I hurt my back.
So it always does it.
Remember when you're doing something cool, like you're like jump off a building to save puppies?
Yeah.
It's always like you're like
I stepped off a curb and all of a sudden my knee exploded. You know, it's like it's never when you're doing something cool.
Yeah,
man.
just something really stupid, but yeah. But I'm here, man.
All right.
I had a very hectic day today. My family adopted 2 new dogs.
Oh,
So
2 new dogs?
2 new dogs. We went from
Man.
0 to 2, just like that.
You guys are brave people, man. I tell you.
well done.
But so that's been taking up a lot of my time and energy
Yeah,
this
I bet.
afternoon. So, but also join us today. We have them from their Dice Tower segments from their podcast. They are the Brothers Murph, Nick and Mike.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us, guys. How you doing today?
Good,
Doing
good.
awesome, man. It's been a solid Sunday fun day.
Yeah,
You guys
it's
are-
actually been pretty good.
You guys don't have anything to complain about?
Not today, no. I mean, we keep trying
Traffic,
for sure.
I don't,
But- Yeah, traffic in LA is
The line at In-N-Out was really long.
That's
so
true.
that got us
That's more
down
like
for a while.
I was pretty bummed about
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
But we're privileged. We live in California, so we got to have In-N-Out. It's pretty sweet.
yeah. It's a sweet
Awesome.
76 degrees today. It's nice.
Well, I think
I would
it's
like more
hotter here.
degrees.
It was hotter here in Pittsburgh. I think we were up in the mid 80s today. It was a hot day.
Oh, really?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually nice today.
Yeah. It's beautiful. We're living
All right.
the
Well,
life, man.
today, guys, we're going to be talking. The brothers are bringing some of their expertise. We're going to be discussing thrifting board games. We're going to be discussing board gaming on a budget. So, if you have any questions, make sure to put those in the comments, and we'll get those answered for you. But to start off first, Nick and Mike, just a little background on you since this is your first time on our show. Give us some information on where you guys come from, how you got into the hobby, where you started out, and how that turned and developed into content creation for you.
Oh man.
Well, we're originally from Northern California in Sacramento.
Mhm.
We now live in Los Angeles. And yeah, I mean, I guess I started kind of the gaming trend between the two of us.
It's all your fault.
It is my fault. It's true. All the money spent is all my fault, really. I had a girlfriend whose family played board games a lot, and they loved Pandemic, and so they got me to play Pandemic with them the first time. Mike was over at their house one time. He played with us, and that's kind of what started it. But even then, like, it didn't really take off till about like 2 years ago or so, because we had Pandemic, and then we bought like Zombicide and like maybe 1 or 2 other
We had like
games.
Settlers of Catan, like the
Yeah.
big ones that, if you're not in the hobby, you would have heard of. Like, it's impossible not to have come across that, or like a Dominion. So we had just like a couple games. I don't even know what happened where
idea.
like all of a sudden we decided like, let's just buy like 10 or 15 games and then 20 more. And then, oh, here comes Christmas. We got Amazon gift cards. Let's go use those.
Yeah. And it kind of just exploded out of nowhere. And now it's a daily on BGG. We watch the Dice Tower like crazy. Now we're on the Dice Tower's contributors, which is really weird and cool. And so, yeah, it kind of just out of nowhere exploded. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. We love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Were you guys always close?
Guys,
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. Growing up, guys, did you guys play like the Monopolies and the Saris and all that stuff? that you
Yeah,
buy at the big box stores?
Yeah, we had the ones that stick out. We had like an original Monopoly. We used to go camping a lot as kids. We still do, but as kids, we'd always go to national parks, and our mom bought us like National Parks Edition Monopoly,
Which we still have, by the way.
yeah, which is awesome. And then we had a neighborhood game of Sorry that lived at our house. Like, our neighbors bought it for like all the kids in the neighborhood.
That's
so
true.
like that lived at our house for a long time. But it was like all of those types of games. Up until like Pandemic was really the turning point where like I didn't even know that those types of games existed.
Yeah.
We played on like a New Year's Eve, and they had like pimped out their game a little bit where they had like a medicine bottle where the meeples and stuff lived in. I was like, what? This is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed. We found out that's not how the game comes.
Yeah, we bought it and we're like, where's our medicine bottle?
Sucks. But even then,
So you guys, I'm sorry, you guys had no idea that they were still, producing board games?
no, not at all. I had no idea this world existed.
Yeah.
which is fairly common. You know, we're all gamers, and trying to explain the world. I work at a drug rehab facility, so I work with addicts and stuff like that. And I pitched this idea at my work to bring board games in and like buy board games because they're really good for, you know, development and things like that.
Sure.
And trying to just explain, like, why would you want to play Monopoly with like a bunch
Twister
of
with
drug addicts?
clients?
And I'm like,
seems
no,
not
I'm like,
appropriate.
I'm trying to explain the benefits of, like, you know, cooperation and all this kind of all these things, and they're just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, this whole world. You don't understand. It's kind of niche still, but it's growing. It's getting more in the mainstream. And I was like trying to explain, it's, you know, it's the constant battle of like trying to get people into the hobby,
the word out,
but they have no idea what you're talking about, you know? And so, yeah, we had no idea.
Yeah. Once that veil's lifted, you see it everywhere. And, you know, it's ubiquitous. But before that, you know, I was the same way. You know, I was more of an RPG guy. And as that kind of faded for me, some of the guys I played with, they're like, well, we found these games, and so we got, like, just like you guys said, it was 1, 2, 3, 50.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was no turning back, and it from there it was just everywhere. So yeah, I definitely hear what you guys are saying.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's even like, it's like you said, you don't notice it until you're in. And my girlfriend saw a comedy show the other day, and the guy did this whole set, and he was talking about cash and guns, and so she was in the audience like, oh, that game is funny. Everyone else was like, oh, that's funny. We're like, no, but it's true, because you wouldn't want to shoot this person because you're afraid, like, what does that mean, you know, politically, and this and that. And, you know, so once you're inside, then it's just a different.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're breaking into the mainstream. It's nice.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're in low budget comedy shows, you know. That means we did it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dens of Los Angeles in the valley. We've reached it.
Now, growing up, were you guys always close? Was sharing hobbies something you guys usually did?
I mean, more forced than anything else. Like, I mean, we're 3 years apart. I'm the younger one. He's the older one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Nick, by the way. This one's Mike, just in case.
For people that have never
People didn't
like
know
thought of
difference.
us as separate.
We're more or less just one person at this point, the Brothers Murph. And so, I mean, we fought a lot as kids. You know, I'm the younger one, so he beat me up a lot. And so we didn't really get along until I hit 9th grade. And then we went to for some reason, I don't know, I hit 9th grade. And then we became like best friends.
We turned the corner.
Yeah, and we've been pretty much inseparable since.
Yeah.
And so he moved to LA because he went to UCLA, and then I more or less moved here basically just to be closer to him because I just missed him essentially after a few years. And so growing up, we were always together, and we always did stuff together, but we fought a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So something like, you know, creating, you know, comedy and stuff like that and board gaming have been things that have really grown organically together because we've become so much closer as adults, and everyone's just like, how do you guys do it? And we're like, well, guys, it wasn't always this smooth. Like, we were younger brothers and we would like fist fight and stuff, but we're beyond that.
Like, now we only fist fight at the end
fun.
of games. Yeah, exactly.
Told you not to take all the wood, dude.
That's how we determine first player, right?
Yeah.
In every game. Like, who has the pointiest ears? I'm like, no, whoever wins the fist fight is going first.
Yeah, so it's been cool to kind of bond over things, you know, now in our 20s and into my very early 30s. It's been nice, and stuff like this has been crazy fun getting into this community, which is
awesome. Yeah,
wild and crazy one.
Let me ask you about that. Now, I mean, as far as like your podcast and your your contributions to Dice Tower, has things like that, is that something you guys have always been interested in, and you've kind of married those two hobbies, or did the board gaming, your interest in board gaming, lead you to podcasting and things like that?
I think it was just inevitable. It was bound to happen. I'm an actor. He grew up performing as a dancer and actor as well. And we've just always have really enjoyed making people laugh. So over the years of my time down here, we've had, comedic sketches we've done. We had a YouTube channel that we had back in the day, and we're kind of starting a new one now where it was just kind of sketch comedy and all of that. So I've always looked for opportunities to entertain. And then we just kind of had the idea of jumping in and entertaining, finding ways to marry entertainment and board games, because it's something that we're passionate about. So
yeah, but even way back in the day when we were kids, we always created stuff. That's what we did. Like with our dad, we used to live way up in the foothills, and we lived on the top of this giant 8-acre hill. But it was like not a cool hill. It was like a hill where like you couldn't do anything on the cool hill part. Like you couldn't roll down. It was just like a double wide on top of a giant
pine needles and tarantulas on the
that's
like
pretty much
brush.
it. And so we had a camera and we would just create these like nonsensical sketches
Yeah.
all day, every day. And so we've always done that. And so now we just kind of found like an outlet that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
and
now
so,
we have like a little more skill with it. We're still like very mediocre.
But if you watch our segment on Board Game Breakfast in the Dice Tower, it's still really weird and like nonsensical.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll ever get away from that. We just somehow threw board games
like
into
we
it.
do things because we share the same sense of humor.
Yeah.
So it's like everything we do is like perfectly made for us.
Yeah.
We're like,
we're really selfish entertainers. We're like, we're gonna do this because we think it's really funny, and if no one else does, well, it's too bad for
if
them.
no one else does, I'll go back and be like, so funny, it's great. I know what I like.
Yeah, pretty much.
So just the board gaming, it was inevitable looking back, thinking like we've always kind of done this. So this is just the next kind of chapter in all of that.
And we're huge Dice Tower fans, and so we kind of thought like Tom put out the head of the Dice Tower put out a kind of call for contributors, and we were like, what can we do? Like what something we can do? And there wasn't anything about thrift stores on at that time. I think there was in the past, and so we're like, that's cool because there's a specific thrift store here that we love, and so we're like, we've gotten games at thrift stores. Let's try that out, and it turned out to be pretty cool, and
it's a lot
having
of fun.
a good time.
Yeah. Now, in the you said you're actors and performers, and talking about how board gaming is becoming more mainstream. Do you try to work more aspects of the hobby into your other projects as well?
Yeah, it's something that I want to do more of. I want to do you guys will have to just tune in and see, but just basically finding ways to take like a Settlers of Catan. To me, something that would be really funny is to see like a movie trailer for like the inevitable Settlers of Catan movie, and it's just this big like battle over resources and doing something fun like that. So
it's like some weird Mad Max thing going after sheep or something.
Yeah. It's like, you can't be hogging all the brick. You're gonna give us that mountain. We need that ore or whatever it is. So, as it's becoming more mainstream, I think there's good opportunities to pair something that people have all like, oh yeah, I played that game one time and this is funny. Or for me, I really like with thrift stores and everything is tapping into nostalgia, which I think is huge. Mm-hmm. So doing something like a horror trailer for like Don't Wake Daddy, I think would be super cool. And it's just The Shining or something. So like, that's what I kind of go. It's just like, what can I like flip on its head or kind of try to bring to real life and kind of pervert it all and make it strange and funny.
Sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that, guys. That's great to get to know some of your background there. It's really interesting. I didn't realize you were, you guys were, actors and things like that. So that's cool to know, and I really want to check out your YouTube channel and see what kind of stuff you guys are putting out there. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot coming. We're kind of getting it all going right now on our new channel, so it's going to be really cool to watch.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'll be looking out for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Just recently, let's talk about some of the games. What is it? And we'll start with you, Nick or Mike. You guys, when you can go first. What are some games you guys have been playing together or separately that really got your attention lately? What's been on your radar the past week or so?
Oh man, for me, Nick played this a couple months ago, and then we got it. He surprised me. It was just on the shelf one day. Abyss is one that's super fun. Mm-hmm. I really like the kind of just the whole, you want to get these certain cards, but you have to let everyone else have a shot at it first. And then kind of the art style and the underwater world that it's all set in. So like, that's a game that I've been like, I want to find a way to play with the max amount of people and just different games at different like player counts. And I don't always jump to wanting to do that. So that's been one I've been hot on this last week. And was just like, hey, Abyss. Nick's like, all right.
We're really trying to rope your girlfriend. His girlfriend Casey, she plays games with us all the time. She loves games too, but it's always like Michael just be like holding Abyss in the background, just like
that's weird.
I'm just holding this. This might happen.
How'd that get there?
And we finally did play with her, and she really liked it.
I think she won too. Which isn't as
she's
fun.
much smarter than us, which isn't hard to do, but but so. And a game that I guess I've been really hot on. We had a convention. I'm actually wearing a shirt for it. It's called Strategicon. It was over Memorial Day weekend, and I got Hero Realms there. And that's a game we've been playing a ton of because the vast majority of the time we're playing games, it's just me and Mike.
Yeah.
So every game we play has to play well at 2 or else we won't get it because it's just, which is a very common problem for like couples and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so finding like good 2-player games, particularly if they're like short and kind of light, is always really a really big deal to us. So I had heard about Star Realms. I'd never played it before, but then I heard Hero Realms is even better because there's character packs to it as well.
Yeah.
So I got Hero Realms. We don't have any character packs, and it's super fun. A little deck builder, and it really gets you right in the action. There's not too much of that like having to build up your deck and all this kind of stuff because it's like 20 minutes long. So you're basically right away getting cool cards, beating each other up. It's like 20 minutes, and we really, really like it. We're really excited to get some of the character packs for it because apparently it just makes it that much better. And I'm like, all right, cool. So that one I've been really, really hot on recently because it's 2 players, it's quick, it's super fun. We got 20 minutes. Let's play some Hero Realms real quick.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a good time.
That's a fun. I know. Not recently, a couple months ago, I introduced my wife to Abyss, and I didn't introduce. We both played it for the first time together, and she really liked it. She's anything with like an underwater ocean theme.
Well, it's got the best art I've ever seen in any game.
Yeah, the art is fantastic.
My gosh.
That really hooked her, and anytime I can get her hooked on the game, I'm really excited. So
yeah,
I really enjoyed that one.
That one's fun and also like weirdly super straightforward, which is nice.
Yeah, there's not a lot of twists and turns it takes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ezra, how about you? What have you been playing lately?
Funny you guys mentioned Hero Realms because I just picked that up last week, and I've just been playing. I've been playing the heck out of it. Star Realms, I played it a couple of times. It really didn't do it for me. I don't know if it was because of the sci-fi setting. But with Hero Realms, even though it has the same engine and the play is the same way, but with those character packs, oh my gosh, it just elevates the game just a little bit more.
So can I ask you real quick? Oh yeah, go on. I was going to ask like what exactly they do to change because I actually don't know much about them.
Right, the character packs, instead of they have their own starting deck, and you have 2 cards that already start in play, and each character has different life points. Like one of them has 62, another one has 42. They just start at different life points, but it just brings the game to a whole nother level. And a lot of people do recommend that you play with the character packs.
Yeah.
I showed my wife the game with just the base game, and then she really liked it, which is kind of hard because my wife doesn't normally play board games.
Okay.
So that's all we've been playing is just Hero Realms a lot. So I'm really happy with that. That was great. And it was one of the I was on the fence on it for a long time until I was watching Mark Streed talk about it. He reviewed it on the Dice Tower, and that kind of pushed me over the fence, and I just went out and bought a whole crap load of them. So,
good.
I've been really, I haven't been able to put it down. It's a really fun, quick game that's not
it's perfect.
Yeah, not too terribly complicated, And then last night I played a game of Coal Baron and I lost. So
okay,
by 2 points. By 2 points. That's all I've been doing. Yeah, that's all I've been doing, Kirk, the last couple of weeks.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I got dogs have taken over my life for the past couple of days, and then weekend before that I was out of town, so I haven't got to do a whole lot of gaming recently. What I have been able to do is I've been trying to check off some games, play more games on the Board Game Geek top 100 because I realize I haven't played too many of those, and it kind of makes me feel like a fraud. So I want to play a few more of those. And one of the ones I played was for the first time was Troy's, however you pronounce it.
Oh yeah,
dice placement game. Really enjoyed that. I'm a fan of Alien Frontier, and I guess Troy was kind of the precursor to that one. And I enjoyed it. It was the theme wasn't fantastic for me, but I liked how the dice as worker placement worked. That was pretty cool. And then another one I got to play was Keyflower, which I really wasn't that high on, to be honest with you. Have you guys played Keyflower?
I haven't played any of the key games. No.
Yeah, it's a bidding game, and I thought everybody talked about how it was this really nice, elegant design. And when I sat down to play it, it kind of felt just all over the place. It's one of those games where you can do too much, and there's too many options open to you and open to everybody else, and it gets to the point where you don't even know what the guy on the other side of the table is even attempting to do because things are moving so fast. So it was a little too big for me, but I guess I can see the appeal, but it just wasn't for me. I definitely don't think it's the whatever it is 36th best board game of all time.
I mean, I always just hear about that. Oh, it's so smooth and it's just like so
Yeah.
elegant and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know. It just I've never seeked it out because it just doesn't seem.
Yeah.
That appealing,
I got together with a group of people and they were like, I have Keyflower. I'm like, oh, let's try that out.
Yeah. If someone put it in front of me, I'd try it. But it's kind of like
trying if you like that kind of game. But like I said, I mean, the mechanics are smooth because it's just I do this. It's linear in the way you do that. But just it's one of those games where just there's too many options to the point where you can't narrow down your path to victory. So I personally, like I said, didn't like it. But yeah, I mean, give it a try if it's something you might like.
Yeah,
and then I got to play another game of Terraforming Mars.
I want to play so bad.
You haven't played it yet?
No.
I can't get my hands on it.
I know.
It's nowhere.
The folks I was playing with, they went on the Board Game Geek cruise, and I guess every cabin on the cruise got their own copy.
Get out of here! Really?
Yeah. So that's how they got theirs. But I played it a couple times before, and when I played it the first time, we were all playing it for the first time. So I kind of felt like good about my performance. Yeah. This time I played with a few more experienced players, and I just kind of got blown out of the water and embarrassed.
Okay.
But I learned from it. It's one of those games. I hate games that you play and it just kind of gets away from you. You have no idea what happened. This one, I actually was able to look back on it and say, okay, this is what I did wrong. This is where I can improve next time. So I'm eager to keep playing. It's a really fun game. When you guys get a chance, definitely check that one out.
Yeah, I was trying to, when I was at Strategicon a couple weekends ago, I was trying so hard to get into a game of it somewhere. And just, I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time and all this stuff, or like I was going to get into like a teaching game of it. But then like I was dog sitting the time. It took a little too much of my time. So I got there like 15 minutes late. I wanted to go because I was like, we can't find it anywhere. So I was like, I'm not going to just buy it. I want to play it. And it's never going to happen. It's never so dramatic. It's over. I'm never going to get to play this game. Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, Stronghold so underestimated that game that they didn't print enough.
Which I get, like you don't want to way overprint and not sell it, but I mean, geez, who would have thought it'd be this popular?
At this point, like you need to run those machines 24/7, get them out. Don't just give them out to people on a cruise. What is that? That's crazy.
I think it seems like a lot of those companies that helps them out when they when they have that short run and then the game blows up because you just kind of creates a mystique around the game.
Totally. Yeah, because the second the next print run comes out, everyone's just gonna jump on it so hard.
Yeah, it's a smart move. It's less risk and higher reward. So I get it.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to play
it. When you guys get to play it, let me know what you think.
Yes, definitely, we will.
I'm gonna love it. I'm determined to love it. It's gonna happen.
I really hope I like it. We play it, and I'm like, game sucked. That's gonna really be a damper on my life.
I don't think Mars is my planet.
I will tell you what. Usually, when a game gets really hyped like that, there's a lot of times where I'm like, you get so hyped where it's never gonna live up to that. But this one, for me personally, actually lived up to it. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I try to not get too hyped about games because of that exact reason. I'm like, what if it's just never going to live up to this? And so like I'm glad that for the most part we've mitigated that pretty well.
We've avoided great disappointments, I think, for the most
experience where you were so hyped up about it and then it just fell flat for you.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it fell flat, I think is a little too strong of a word, but Shadows of Brimstone was like that way for me. We were at a game store in town. Me and my friend Billy were at a game store, and we saw this game, and the guy really, really hyped it up, and it just sounded like so cool. And we were just like, because I love the concept of Shadow of Brimstone, which is like, like a dungeon crawl, but like through like an Old West mine and stuff, and it's like a campaign game. It just sounded so cool. And the copy he showed us was his personal copy, so like they didn't have it in the store, so we're calling all over town trying to find this game, like real impulse buy, like just hardcore, no thought process. And it was just so enamored with the theme and like how it all worked. And we got it. And like, I liked the game, but it definitely, like looking back, I'm like, I wish we hadn't bought that game. Like it's a fun game. it's a fun game, but like I have severe problems with it, despite the fact that I like it. And so that's probably the one. Mostly that's where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to curb my excitement towards games.
Yeah.
But I'm a pretty heavy researcher when it comes to games. So like I try to really research games before we buy them because I'm terrified because games aren't cheap, you know? And so it's just like I'm terrified of just being like, oh yeah, woo, and then getting it being like, it's like my biggest fear.
I think we realized a couple of zombie side Kickstarters ago. Yeah. We had been like on it. And then we got like whatever came out before Black Plague.
Yeah, Rue Morgue.
And we're like, yeah, oh my God, there's all these stretch goals. And we got it. We're like, oh, it's the same zombie side. Okay. And then we're like, we'll get the next one because it's like going back in time and it's medieval. But, you know, that was when we're like, oh, we already have this game. Why have we bought it for the third time in a row? For like $150 each.
We're not. It's right now. The new one is on Kickstarter right now. We're not going to back it because I'm like, all right, we're finally.
It's exciting. Like, you're like, you can be Prince. Oh my God.
We're going to get a storage unit for all the zombie side stuff we have. So it's just like I'm like, no, we don't play this game. The game takes too long. We don't play this game that often. So yeah. Rue Morgue kind of is that way too.
Yeah, we're like,
my experience with Shadows of Brimstone was I was real excited, and you know, Azrael knows I can rant about this game for 20 minutes if I wanted to, and I have. But my experience was, you know, I got the game because I love Flying Frog, and I was so excited about this new thing they were doing, and I got the game, and I open it up, and I look at these pieces that have to be put together, and I put the lid on and said, that's never getting played, and put it on the shelf.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I mean, just having to like do a bunch of work for. I get some setup, but that's a lot. This guy did all that.
I mean, I don't know if you guys follow it closely on Kickstarter. I didn't, but I was following the game in general. Did they like promote that as a miniatures game where you were going to have to do that? Because I didn't feel like they prepped me for that at all.
I don't know. I mean, I think because they had like a second. I guess a volume 2 of it, kind of the way Zombieside does recently this last year of another one. And again, I was like, I want this again. I love the concept of this game because this one was set in like samurai Japan times. And I was just like, that's one of my favorite themes in games, which is now becoming more popular with like Rising Sun and a couple other games. So I'm like very excited about it. And I was like, again, it's like the concept of Shadows of Brimstone, but with like samurai and geishas and stuff. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I was just like, no, I'm not going to do it because I know how this game plays. And as far as I can tell, the game isn't different. But I'm pretty sure they mentioned you might have to put it together. But if it's mentioned, it's like, you know, the fine print at the very bottom of the page kind of thing. It's not very much like
required.
This is Games Workshop. You know, like Games Workshop, everyone knows you have to put together all their miniatures. I'm pretty sure they did not. They tried to not.
They're not a company historically who has been a miniature. I mean, nothing you ever had to something before. So let's change the subject because I can go on about this all night.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you there.
All right, so guys, I'm glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Because we're going to discuss board, thrifting, board game thrifting, and you know it's appropriate that Azrael's here as the retro gamer. Because you know, I'm sure doing that, you're finding a lot of those older retro games, and you know, I think it's a great way if you can do it, if you can find it, to you know, save money on board gaming and you know, build up that collection without you know, emptying your wallet. But just let me ask you, start now. Ask you, how did you guys kind of come across that? You know, we were saying before, you know, you start out getting that big collection. At what point did you realize that there was a you know, an alternative for you to save a little money this way?
It was for me. It was an accident. I drove well out of town one day with a buddy to shoot guns at a hillside on government land. We were like, let's do some skeet shooting. So like I drove way out into like the desert, and I got there.
That's how horror stories start, Mike. You know
yeah, no, it always starts. So I went into a thrift store in this small town just to kill some time, and they randomly had a bunch of these old board games, things I personally never heard of, and they were all like $2. So I just bought a stack, and for like $10, like that's cool. I mean, who knows what these games are? There's one a GNC, which is all about like the Desert Storm, and it's this kind of tactical war game, and 221B Baker Street, which is a Sherlock Holmes kind of like Clue on steroids. And so there's all these things I had never seen before. And I always have kind of liked retro stuff and the aesthetic, the artwork for older games. And so that was the first time I'd even thought to look at a thrift store for board games. And then from then I always just kind of like, if there's a weird thrift store, I just kind of poke my head in to see if there's anything strange. So we just kind of had this collection at the house when we came up with the idea for the segment. And now we kind of go out trying to find, you know, just interesting odd finds. And you sometimes run into a game that's actually pretty fun. There's some stuff that's not so worth, you know,
you're sifting through a lot of garbage, unfortunately. But again, it's like $1 and then you can just donate it back. You know,
if you don't want to keep it in your collection, it's like, here you go.
It's a really good system. You lose like $1, but like, whatever.
Yeah.
I spend way more money on way more useless stuff. Like,
yeah. So it's, that's kind of how it got going. It's just an accident. It happened to walk into the right store at the right time.
Sure.
Came
and
up.
As well, I'll ask you too. I mean, what have you share some of your experiences? I know you have a rather large retro game collection. You know, has a lot of that been produced through thrift stores and, you know, finds like that?
I'm gonna say about 50, maybe about 40% of it is from a thrift store, but most of it is the stuff that I've saved. I don't want to sound like a pack rat or anything, but most of it's the stuff that I saved from my childhood, which my parents were very poor, and we could only get games from a secondhand store or from a neighbor or a garage sale, and usually it came with missing pieces. The instructions weren't even there, so we had to go and make up our own rules. And then when I finally learned how to play the game, I'm like, oh, we've been playing this wrong. So it's a really interesting thing. Before eBay started up, I believe it was 95, I could find a lot of great games at a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
Once eBay hit, it's like people are just putting these board games on eBay. I mean, sometimes it's really ridiculous because people are selling like a Monopoly game for like $30.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, I can buy a brand new one for $19. You know?
Yeah, seriously.
It's like people think just because it's old, they think it's worth a lot of money, which is, you know, entirely not the case.
Yeah.
But definitely, I have been lucky a handful of times in the last couple of years. But it really is, for me, or maybe it's just the town that I live in. It's really difficult to find the really great big find. You know, it's far in between that you find something like, oh my gosh, look at this. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
So
I think.
You know, you're gonna see the 10 copies of Trivial Pursuit, the Scrabble games all over the place.
Yeah.
It's but every once in a while I will find a great find. I got my second copy of Fireball Island at a thrift store.
Okay.
And I think I found a Dark Tower, my third copy of Dark Tower at a thrift store. It didn't work though. But I've gotten some pretty good finds at thrift stores.
Okay. Well, we were thrifting earlier today. Actually, before we came here, we were out trying to get more games for our segment. And we found like a still in the shrink wrap version of Calorie, whatever this game is.
A game for weight conscious people.
Yeah, it's a game for weight conscious people. It's still in the shrink wrap. It's from 1979?
1979, never been opened.
So it's almost 40 years old. We are so pumped to open up this game. And not that, there were 4 copies all in their shrink wrap.
Oh my God.
We didn't even know. But on top of that, we also found a shrink wrap version of Telestrations, like brand new. For like $3, and I'm like, that's like usually like a $20 game. So we're like, cool, sweet. We found a game that's probably terrible, but Telestrations is a good game. So we're like, cool, that's awesome. We didn't have that, so
you luck into one sometimes.
Astroval's right. It's few and far between. But if you like really weird games, which we like anything really weird, like you're gonna find some weird stuff.
Yeah, it works out for us. Like that's part of the kind of fun of doing the reviews. Is if we run into a terrible game, it's even better. Be like an entertaining review, and then we can just return it to the thrift store. Hopefully a different one than we go to all the time, so we don't
we try to keep the circulation going pretty good.
We're helping other people find great games or great games for them. I don't know.
You know,
fantastic. Now, Azrael, you mentioned eBay. Do you find, and we talked before about how how the hobby's becoming more, people are becoming more conscious of it. Do you find as the names of certain games become more popular and the idea of this hobby is more widely known. Do you find it harder to find good games because people, maybe realize, what they have in their hands and the value, not only financially, but the value of actually playing the game instead of just ditching it? Do you find that kind of hurts your ability to find good games at the thrift stores?
You can find pretty much any game on eBay. It's just how much are you willing to pay for it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, people are listing the most ridiculous board games on eBay, like Battleship. You can still buy Battleship brand new for what they're listing it at. But I personally haven't bought anything off of eBay because the prices are so overinflated. But believe me, there are people that actually pay money for they pay these people for stuff that's not even worth it. It just blows my mind. These people must have like a disposable income,
Yeah, really. You gotta assume so, right?
No, they're like, hey, I'm gonna buy this, save it.
It's just crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not eBay people at all. We don't. Well, also because we didn't really game much when we were kids, other than the normal Monopoly, sorry stuff. So we don't have any I remember this game from my childhood. I'm gonna seek it out on eBay. So for us, we're mostly unfortunately into newer games or games from not too long ago, because again, we're still pretty new into the hobby, and so we don't have that kind of retro feel for it because we just don't really know any of these games. So if I played a game at someone's house that was really cool, that's really old, then I would probably seek it out. But yeah, we don't really know that many old games, so we just kind of stumble upon them, and hopefully they're cool.
See what we find, hope for the best.
Most times they're not.
I'll ask all three of you. What are what's been your big holy grail find? What's something you found? And you're like, oh, I couldn't believe I found this. Then you were just blown away that it was even available.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go ahead and get started first with that one. I found a copy of Crossbows and Catapults at a thrift store. And I know that's on eBay. It's going for at least $100.
Wow.
And I found one with pretty much all the expansions to it, and they were only selling it for I think it was $3.99. And this was about 10 years ago. So I snagged that up so fast because that was something that I remembered. Used to go to a buddy's house of mine, and we used to play it on the floor. You play it on the floor or a table. And I just begged my mother. I said, you got to give me this game. And obviously they didn't get it for me. But, I just because I caught it out of the corner of my eye, I said, oh, my gosh, I remember. I think that was my holy grail. Just the Crossbows and Catapults.
Awesome.
Yeah. I would say, at least for me, I don't think we found our legit holy grail yet. There's never been the oh my gosh, or we found a really expensive game, unless Calibre is worth $1,000, which we'll just assume that it is.
If it is, we're going to get all
four of those copies. Yeah, because we're about to be rich. We're very poor people. And so, but we found one thing that I've weirdly played a lot is we found Friends Seen It. And it was brand new, everything in it was $1. And we played that game a fair amount. I had an ex-girlfriend who loved Friends, and so me and her used to play it a lot. Yeah. And I was just, every time I'd be like, I got this for $1. This is awesome. And so I know that's not a holy grail. I found an original copy of this, but for some reason for me, that's been a pretty solid find for $1. I'm pretty pumped about it, not gonna lie. Yeah. If you like Trivial Pursuit or Seen It, go to thrift stores. You'll find a billion copies of every single one. So yeah, I was pretty pumped about that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask, percentage-wise, the games you find, how many are actually playable? Which ones you can sit down and you have enough pieces or enough, semblance of the original game to sit down and play it?
I think we've gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah, really lucky.
We've had to go online to research and try to get in contact to get rules a few times.
That's the most common part, yeah.
And we definitely have had to tape up some pieces that were busted and everything. But I'd say at least 80% are pretty ready to go. Some of them are, those simple games where the rules are just printed on the back of the box or on the inside of the lid, so that's always nice for that. So yeah, we've gotten lucky. There's been a few times we bought one today that I could just tell from the weight of the box, like, oh, this is not going to be good, and it's all torn up.
Yeah,
so,
there's no rules. We're like, all right,
so that one we'll see if we can figure out a way. Sometimes you just try to kind of look at it, and as Azure Ball would do, be like, all right, I think this must be the point of the game. And
well, it's nice that because now we have like BGG, which is sweet because we got this game shopping center, and it was made by Ravensburg Games, and I even contacted them and said like, hey, do you have the rules for this game? And they're like, no, we don't. And this is like their the official company does not have rules for this game anymore. They're like, no, why would we have rules for this? I'm like, because it's your game. They're like, dude, we don't even want to play this game. And so like I had to go on BGG and I like contacted a bunch of people and some guy pulled it out of storage and they took a picture of the rules for me and sent it to me. So like
sweet.
That's awesome. BGG is a lifesaver, but yes, that's the main thing is like you don't have the rules unless you want to make them up. Like if you really want to play the game right, you're gonna have to search for it.
Yeah,
that's what's so great about the internet nowadays is that you can find anything. I've helped countless people have just emailed me and I've just shot them the rules. A lot.
Yeah, it's easy.
Done a lot of things like that. And going back to finding the board games at the thrift store, even if it's incomplete. I'll just buy it anyway because it's spare parts for when I do find something. It says, oh, I already got this and I can just, merge it with this. Now I got a complete game now.
Yeah.
So I literally have a storage facility with all these old games in it.
Oh, that's awesome,
nice, man.
It's just like overtaking my house. I have no more room in my garage.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in a 3-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles. We don't have much room.
Yeah.
So
hence
it forces us to get rid of some, which is
Yeah.
nice because we do not have room.
Yeah. If we had a house, though, I would totally keep every game just for the conversation of it. But we're like, we need clothes in our closet.
Yeah.
We got to do something here.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now, what if someone were to, someone's watching this and they want to get in, they want to start trying to do this and, find games this way and make this part of their gaming hobby, what advice would you give to them starting out? What direction would you point them in?
I would say at least from our experience, at least in LA, I can't really speak for other cities, but I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty common, is like the chain thrift stores like the Goodwills or the Salvation Army, at least around here, tend to not be that good for it. You might find a couple of them, and they're usually like the Trivial Pursuits and stuff like that. You got to try and find a mom and pop shop kind of place, like kind of like the Rundown thrift store, like there's this one place near our old apartment called the American Way thrift store, and that place it just got gems, at least gems in terms of like they're fun to review because they're usually pretty terrible, but they for some reason always have a ton. And so the first place we go to when we're going to try and find new games to review is there because we know that we're always going to at least be able to find 2 or 3 things. So I feel like the mom and pop shops or like the not chains one tend to be better
and cheaper too.
Yeah, that's also true.
Again, this could be a Los Angeles thing. Goodwill is kind of hip, so everything is the prices are raised. They're like, oh, you want this weird, never before heard of incomplete game for like $8? I'm like, no, give me. I don't even know if I can play this.
47 cents for this, and not a penny more.
Yeah. So other places they'll kind of wheel and deal, and you'll come out with a stack. We bought like 3 or 4 games for $5 today. I'm like, that's what I'm talking.
You should still check out the Goodwills, but like at least in our experience, like the mom and pop shops tend to be, and there's always going to be one that's just like. That's home. Like you always can go there, and that's the American Way thrift store for us is like
never fails.
Never fails. We always can find stuff there.
You guys have a point with the in the corner alley thrift store. You always find some good deals. I've had good luck at estate sales.
Oh, that's a good point.
But going back to places like Goodwill and the Salvation Army, one tip that I have is know their schedule. Know when they're putting out their new stuff because they do have a schedule. Like they put out stuff like at 10 o'clock. They put out stuff like at 1 o'clock, and you just want to be there waiting while they're putting the stuff on the shelves. That's one lucky way that I found out.
Cool. Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. We could hit some estate sales.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff.
Do you guys do like flea markets and stuff like that?
We haven't much. There's not really any flea markets. The big flea market, there's 2 big flea markets in LA, and like neither one of them are really anywhere near us. And LA is huge just in terms of sheer landmass, and it has the worst traffic in the world. And so
you also
like,
run into the same problem with Los Angeles. Everything is hip. So you go to these flea markets and everything is just way expensive because they know like there's a bunch of hipsters like cruising around looking for some like 50s coffee
from
table.
1842. And
you
know, it's
you
just
know, and
like,
it's just the idea of they'll pay whatever.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'd say like an estate sale or garage sales
that you probably have a lot better,
Yeah.
much more luck with the garage sales and estate sales, at least than flea markets. If you want to keep it on a budget, like again, you never know, but like antique sales and all kind of stuff, you'll probably find some stuff, but at least in LA, it's probably gonna be pricey just because it's hip. You know, it's like farmers markets should be cheaper, and yet they're the most expensive places on the planet in Los Angeles because everyone's like, "Oh, this organic kale, $100, you got it." You know, so it's
just like we grow it here in California. Why are avocados so much? They're from here. We should get the cheapest price.
I know, but no, not LA. LA's cool, which is great, but like, it's kind of frustrating.
What we deal with.
Going back to estate sales and garage sales, typically if it's an older couple like senior citizens where they don't really know about the computer, the internet, you'll find great stuff there too. But if it's some young people, you won't really find great stuff. I tend to look for, you know, senior citizens, they don't know about this. Let me go swoop in and take all their stuff.
And you'd be like, I guess I'll buy this. It was just like $1.
And buy this and this ornate vase, I guess, you know.
Whatever. I guess I'll take it off your hand. Yeah, that's a good key. We need to go hit up some like Beverly Hills estate sales.
Yeah.
People that hold money.
Because estate sales in LA too, because there's like so many like rich, like it's just estate sales can be nuts here. Like they're insane. You go to Beverly Hills and it's just
a mall.
There's just like tigers in the back. It's just like $20.
Only in LA, man.
Do you guys have half price books out west? I'm not sure if you guys have those out there.
Is that like a store?
Yeah, the store half price books.
I wish we did. That sounds awesome.
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
We have it here. It's East Coast. I don't know how regional it is, how far it spreads out. But it's a good place to go. By the name, it's mostly used books. But they have like CDs, records, and every once in a while I'll find a decent board game there. And they really and the nice thing about them is they put out like they really won't put out junk. Like if they take a game in, they'll make sure that you're getting the full product. And their prices are pretty good. And every once in a while they'll have, and I guess they just get like, I don't know if they get like overstock or what, but they'll have, unopened games, shrink wrap games, for, maybe, 50, 60, 75% off. So if you have one of those in your area, check that out, for games. I just picked up AEG's Planes this week for $10. And
okay, cool.
So that was that was a pretty nice find. And my wife was there. She was calling me, telling me everything they had. And most of them are retail or close to retail, but every once in a while you'll find a really good bargain.
But hey, even then, any discount's nice. It's just like
anything helps.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
We love it.
Yeah. Well, that comment kind of helps us transition into our next topic, and kind of just branching out what we're talking about is saving money playing games. And I always say I want to do episodes of what I consider the three biggest barriers or three biggest struggles for a board gamer. It's the finding people to play with, finding the time to play, and the money to buy the games. And kind of hesitant to talk about that because you start talking about people, how much money they got in their pocket and stuff like that. But no matter how much you have to spend, we want to be able to stretch it as much as we can. So like I said, transition into in general, trying to find games, not just the thrift store games like the niche stuff or the kind of stuff what you guys do or to just have fun with it, but real hobby, building up your collection. What are some ways that you guys think that what are your ideas for saving money? What are the steps that you take to save a couple bucks?
I mean, one thing that and again, this kind of also depends on where you live, unfortunately. If you live in a rural area or a smaller city, what a big dude. This probably won't be too useful for you, but like there is a board game cafe in LA. Weirdly enough, there's only one. There should be more. LA is huge. Yeah. But that's really nice because it's $5 to go play there, and you can stay there as long as you want, and that's it. And they have like 1,000 games there, so like that's nice because it's like, now again, you can't be doing that all the time, but like that helps at least, especially it's like if there's a game you really want to try out but you don't want to buy, like
Yeah.
that, or what we use it for a lot. It's kind of become a double-edged sword because now we go there to try out a game and then just end up buying it because we really liked it. And so like that happens all the time.
It helps us avoid buying things that we end up kind of wishing like, oh, this isn't a game I really want to play that many times. I wish I had, known that ahead of time. So going to a place like a board game cafe, even though you're spending a little money, it's a good way for us to kind of narrow down the things that we really want or things that are like, oh, we'd only want to play this about as often as we come to this board game cafe anyhow.
Yeah.
So that kind of is one thing that helps us. And then trying to find, things like there's games like Codenames, which are so cheap and are so fun and they can accommodate a lot of people. So trying to find a healthy mix of games that, you can really get a lot of bang for your buck.
Also, if you have like a couple people you play games with, like say there's like 2 or 3 of you, one of ours is our friend Billy. So like split up who buys the game, like maybe like he'll buy a game. So then I don't have to buy that game now. Like I'm kind of a completionist. So I always want to, because I'm like, I want to be able to play it whenever I want, but it's like, that's really ridiculous, because like there's tons of games on our shelves that don't get played that much just because we have a lot of games. So like, that's really nice. Cause then it's like not all on you. And so, or if you can split it, if it's, a $60 game, there's 3 of you can each play $20, that can help, But so that
if you have
I think
a community of people you play with often, it's nice to be like, hey, everyone bring $5 each week. We do a game night and we'll just kind of create the board game fund. We can vote on what we want to buy next. And that way you're only, paying $5, $10 a month for these games or whatever it might be. You don't get to keep all of them. It's kind of shared. So that's a downside, but we have access to a lot more games now because we have our buddy Billy and a couple other friends that each have a few games, and we kind of have the main collection. So
yeah,
I definitely, like you guys do, before I buy any game, I do serious research.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I'm going to like the game and play the game because I myself don't have a disposable income, so I'm very choosy. I buy, and when we did our me and Kirk did our top 50 games of all time, or was it 100?
We did 50, total 100. We did 50 each.
wow.
Okay, yeah. We did 50, and it's like I had a hard time ranking them because to me, the reason why I bought them was because they were all great games.
Yeah.
But yeah, just definitely, you guys gave some good tips. Exactly what I was going to say. But definitely do your research before you go and spend any amount of money. And there's tons of content on the internet.
Yeah.
You can find, and everybody's reviewing stuff, and you can get a good feel for, this looks interesting, or, that kind of stuff.
Especially if there's a reviewer who, if you watch, you're like, oh, I agree with the types of games this person likes. So you can kind of go to that person as your, if they like it, I'll probably like it. And the other thing that I try to keep in mind, or Nick and I do, is I try to think of, the value of something. Board games do cost a lot of money. They can get way up there. So what I try to think of is like, okay, how many people are going to play an expensive game like a Zombicide or something? How many people are going to play? 4 people are going to play at once, and we play for 2 hours. I try to think of like, what could we do? What could 4 people go out and do for 2 hours and not spend the same amount of money? And then there's the replayability. If I go buy a ticket to Wonder Woman, which everyone should do, by the way, I get to go see that movie one time, and then that's it. If I want to watch again, I've got to fork over another $15. Games kind of keep on giving. So I try to think of, there's a price tag, but maybe I can be a little bit more smart, save up, do that research on a game, and then get something knowing that it's a gift that keeps on giving, time and time again, and I can show it to new people. And so the value, I think, is pretty good, even if you are, spending a bit of money up front.
Yeah, I think just being real and like knowing what you like. Like if it's a worker placement game, there's a really good chance we're gonna like it because that's like both of our favorite mechanic. And so it's like, it's one of the things where like even if we don't do the amount of research maybe we should, like if we're like, oh, this is like a worker placement, we're like, okay, we're probably gonna like it. If you get some good reviews. But the main thing is like you should never ever go into anything blind anymore. Because a thrift store buy is pretty much the only way you should be. Even then, you can find out information. Sometimes you can't because they're really weird. Like Calorie, there's not much information on for some reason. I don't get why.
Looks great.
I heard Fantasy Flight was going to pick it up, but I guess not. And so I mean, you really shouldn't go in blind. I mean, at the very least, you can always look it up on BGG or find a review somewhere. I mean, there's a billion people.
There's so
doing
many
board game
resources
reviews.
out there.
So,
Yeah. I'd say too, in keeping with knowing the game, getting to know the game. This may seem obvious, but it's a mistake I've made in the past. Is know your group and be honest with yourself as to how you're going to be able to play the game. If you're going to be able to play the game at all. I've seen if you have a group where it's 3 or 4 people every week. No matter how great that 10-player social deduction game looks, you're probably never going to get to the table. And I've done that before where I just love the game so much. And, it's like, I'll make it work. I'll find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
You almost never do.
Nope.
So I think that's important is make sure that what you're getting fits your group, not only in, the type of games they want to play, but the types of games they can play.
Yeah, it's huge. And that's why we always get a game that will play well at 2 players.
But
that's the reality.
We have gotten better at that, because I will say, like, as Rob brought up, like, has anything ever fell flat? For us, not really, but one where we get burned a fair amount of time, not so much anymore because we've gotten much smarter, is like player count.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, like knowing your group, because we have games where it's like you really, like, we have Blood Rage and we love Blood Rage, but Blood Rage had to play with 3 people, and like his girlfriend has no interest in playing Blood Rage, and it's usually me and him, or me, him, and his girlfriend, and so like we very rarely get to play it. And that's only 3 people. It's not even that hard to get that. It's still tough, because a lot of times when we have other people where we can finally fill out these player counts, they don't want to learn like a big new game, but we got like the others, we kickstarted it and it was great. And, we love the game, but like we've literally only played that game with just the 2 of us. Yeah. Because we want to play with the full contingent of 5, but we never are playing with 5 players. And if we are, they're like, let's play a party game, which is super fun. But it's just like, so that's a huge one. I'm really glad you brought that up, Kirk, because I didn't think about it. Is like, know your player count, because we have at least 3 or 4 games that like never get played just because we don't have the players for it, and we've gotten burned on that before. Yeah, we like all the games, but like we just don't ever get to play them because of that. Yeah, so, and that's money you just kind of wasted on,
Exactly. Yeah,
a lot of Taco Bell with that,
That's where you get the player packs for Hero Realms and some Taco Bell. Taco Bell's real cheap, guys.
This live show brought to you by Taco Bell.
If only we had that Taco Bell money.
I know, right? By all the games.
We would never have to thrift again, man. MSRP on everything.
And and I agree with you too. I mean, just getting to know the game and doing the research is so important. And I've been burned on that too. I mean, I've gotten sucked into theme. I see a theme, I'm like, oh, that theme is so cool.
That is a brimstone, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You just run out and snatch it up, and then you play it, and you're like, oh, this does not, the picture on the box does not match what actually happened in the game, and that's really, really disappointing.
Yeah, it sucks when it goes that way.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
But we're all learning and getting better as people.
Exactly, yeah. And you also mentioned about, having other people play the game, or who own the game, and just making sure who spreading out who plays it. And I think a lot of times, especially when people are starting, they want to build a collection.
Of course, yeah.
And if you're going to play a game, if somebody owns a game, and that person and 3 other people are the only ones you're ever going to play it with, don't buy the game.
You don't need it. Yeah.
There's no reason. You're not going to play with anybody else. Just why spend the money? Spend your money on something else you can play with them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Especially
I got an interesting question for the brothers here. What do you guys think about disposable games? Meaning you play it one time and then it's done.
I love them. I think they're 100. I mean, I guess unless the game is sucks, but like to me, they're 1,000% worth the money, because like Mike brought up earlier, it's like
value.
Again, like say Pandemic Legacy, it's like, okay, the minimum you can play that game, we're in the middle of it right now. The minimum you can play that game is 12 times. It's like, okay, 12 times, each game's going to be an hour. Let's just say an hour just to be easy. So that's 12 hours of gameplay at the minimum. Like how, and that game costs like 60, 70 bucks, something like that. How many things can you do for 12 hours?
For 4 people.
For like 4 people that cost that little amount of money. So like or like time stories where you have to constantly buy modules for it. Like to me, like they're 100% worth it, because not only like in sheer time to money spent is it worth it, but like the experiences you get from them are so amazing that like to me, I mean, again, like we don't buy them too much because again we just don't have that much money. But like if it's a good one, like I have no problem with them. I really like the idea.
Yeah,
because again it's worth it to me.
That's a good one where I could be like, hey, all 4 of us want to play the new Time Stories module. Let's all throw down $5.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna play it with one group the entire time, like Pandemic Legacy. It's like let's split it. Then it's really worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my group did with Pandemic Legacies. We split the cost up. Just there's the 4 people we're going to play. I found on sale for like $40, so we each threw in $10, and because like I think like Ezra, I think what he's getting to is it's hard to get that game, play it, no matter how much fun it was, and throw it on your shelf, knowing that it's never going to. You're never going to be able to do anything again. It's just a box of components. Yeah, and I think easing that cost by spreading it out and again, like you said, with a permanent game. It's okay, you gotta whose root game is this really? Where are we going to keep it? Stuff like that. Whose shelf is it going to sit on? With a legacy game, it doesn't matter because you're done with it when it's over anyway.
Yeah. And it's just something you have to kind of make your peace with. Of like this is a moment in time. Here we are, and it's going to be done, and we'll just have the memory. Or I guess we could keep the board and be like, see how many cities we destroyed. They're fallen, and we can always look back on that fondly.
Yeah, we're not doing too hot.
Yeah, I made my peace with it.
we haven't played our next game because we're finally at that point where it's like if you lose 4 games in a row, you have to open that one box, and we're like. We're one more lost in the box. I'm like, I'm not opening that box. I don't care. Like, I don't want it. What about you, Astroval? Where you fall on like disposable games and such?
I can't get into all the rage right now is the escape room games.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do it. I can't wrap my head around it. I mean, I played Pandemic Legacy, but I didn't buy the game. A buddy of mine across the street had it, and it's like, okay, well, you play it, but I hear your argument about what else are you going to do with that money? It's really, it can fulfill a night of entertainment for fairly cheap, but I can't see not playing the game ever again after it's done.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah, it is tough. It's a weird thing, where you just like rip up a component in the game. You have to destroy it. It's like, oh my God.
But even in some of the games, like some of the legacy games, like there's a legacy game called Charterstone coming out from Jamie Stegmaier, and that one, I think by the end of the game, you end up with a game that you can continue to play. So that's a really cool thing because then it's like you have the legacy part of it, but then it's just like a unique game that really is unique to you and your specific game because everyone else in the game ends up differently. I think that's a really cool idea. So if more of them could do that, that would be cool. Like in Pandemic Legacy, hopefully because they're making season 2, hopefully the very end game is like a game you can continue playing. I doubt it, but it's like, that's a really cool idea and kind of
New World or
circumvents the fact that you have to throw it out afterwards.
Yeah. Well, that's how I think that's how Risk Legacy worked. Is you played, you completed it, and then you had your own game.
And, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of cool. It's like you guys can play it and I can play it, and we can come together at the end and compare. Okay, this is the game I have now.
Yeah,
and
totally.
What do you guys have? I think that's pretty neat, and I think they are going to evolve. I think it's going to get to the point. I think if these continue to come out over and over again, I think they're going to get somewhere where people will get burned out on spending money on games they can only play a certain amount of time. So I think there's going to be a next step where something like that happens, where it's you can either run through it again or do something with it once it's done.
Yeah, agreed. That'd be great.
And for some reason, the escape room games, I agree with Astroval. I don't get it. Like I can't. I've never played one, so I will make that caveat that I've never actually played one. But to me, it's like I would rather pony up the dough and go to a real escape room because then it's like you're in it. Like I mean, I get if you're really into puzzles, I get it, but I don't get it as a game. Like, and people love them right now. So I'm like, maybe I just need to try one. But like for me, I'm just like, I'd rather just do escape room or play something else. But that's just me.
I don't like puzzles in my board games,
Okay, then you really want
this is not your thing.
Yeah, that's
fine. Those escape room games, kind of remember they're still around, but they used to be real popular. Remember they used to have like Host the Murder Mystery at home, like the home murder mystery.
We just found one of those.
So excited!
We're planning. We're so excited.
We're gonna get everyone dressed up.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be in like gowns and such, and we're gonna film the whole thing, and we're gonna try to give it to Tom on the Dice Tower, have him put up as his own thing. We want to have because we live in LA, so we know all these actors and actresses. So we're gonna have like a confession room, like in a reality TV show. Like we're gonna try to make it this big thing. So we did just find one of those, and
We have to find a cassette
excited.
player though. That's the only bummer.
Oh, wow.
We're like, here we go. So,
It's like trying to put it into our phones. Just
is this an aux or what's this?
yeah, so we just found one of those, and we're really pumped about it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
That
mean to
sounds
be
pretty
like, yes. I forgot that
Yeah.
we bought that. That might be like a gold find right there.
Yeah, that might be our
I
holy
still-
grail.
Right. I
So
still
we'll see.
keep an old. I still keep an old VHS player because I got about a half dozen VCR board games, so I still play those.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, go
That's so
go
cool.
to the
Yeah,
thrift store. You can get the VCR board game and the VCR thrift store. You know, it works out.
Yeah, they're all right there.
Yeah, it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Everything.
Look at the
One-stop
cassette
shop.
player today.
Back in the day, everybody thought that was the future of board gaming, VCR board games. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
not really.
I mean, what we just call them video games. Nah, that'll never take. VCR board games is the thing.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all your insight there, and I really.
What's up, little rock star?
Yeah. Say hi, Jake. You want to say hi?
It's past his bedtime.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
past
it's
your
late
bedtime.
there.
What
He's
are you
up playing
doing up, young man?
He's up playing with the dogs.
Oh yeah, he's got dogs. Yeah, he's never going to bed. Good
Yeah.
luck, Kirk.
Well, guys, I appreciate all your insight there, and we are running a little long, and that's okay because I'm really enjoying this conversation.
Sorry, we're talkers.
No,
we
that's
do
fine. No, I love it. I hope you guys come back because this is a lot of fun.
Oh, anytime. We're
Um,
having a blast.
Awesome. But before we go, we do want to play our bi-weekly tradition of Stump the Chump. Azrael is still our undefeated champion. So since there's two of you, Nick and Mike, you guys have the categories. You know what you have to work with. What we're going to do is we'll have one of you decide who's going to play, and then during the game, you'll have one phone a brother option where whoever's not playing will be able to help you out.
Okay.
So,
Azrael, little brother.
He doesn't need one. He's undefeated.
so having seen the categories, knowing what you what we're dealing with, which one of you will be playing tonight?
I'm gonna play. I
This
think.
one. He's smarter than me.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike,
I feel like him.
you're going to play, and then you will have the option. There'll be 10 questions. You'll have the option at one point to bring Nick in and have him answer for you.
Okay.
So
Is
you
there one
guys
about
have the
obscure
categories?
Lord of the Rings trivia? 'Cause that's
Yeah.
probably all I got for you.
You guys
you'll
have
be
the categories there in front of you. If you're playing along
Yes.
at home, they are in the description of the show down below, so you can see what the categories the guys are looking at. And the first thing you'll do, Mike, you have the first choice. You get to veto a category, which means you can take it off the board. It won't be an option for Azrael to pick.
I'm gonna veto in print. I love reading,
print?
but I'm worried about that one, so I'm gonna go and knock that out.
Okay, we'll take imprint off the board. And Azrael, what category would you like to veto?
I am going to veto Michael Jackson. They look like Michael Jackson fans.
Michael Jackson isn't in this one. You're looking at last week's email.
But it sounds
I'm
like
so sorry.
I would have
Gosh darn it,
dominated. though.
Kirk. All right, I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
yeah.
There's new. You did new
gonna
ones.
win.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was going off of last week's. I'm gonna say Simon and Garfunkel. Let's axe
Simon
that.
and Garfunkel.
No, it's good. You didn't
Oh,
want
damn,
that.
I was curious what that question was gonna be.
You didn't
too.
really want that one anyway, so
All
right.
right.
he
Okay.
was worried about that one. So
I was
Okay.
also excited.
Okay, so those two categories have been removed. Of the remaining categories, what we'll do now is go back and forth. You each pick 5. And Mike, since you are the visiting team, you get to pick first.
Oh, let's do theme parks.
Theme parks?
Fancy. Yeah.
Okay. Theme parks. Azrael, what's your first pick?
Let's go with Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese.
okay.
And Mike, your next pick.
Let's do professional wrestling.
Okay.
Watched wrestling like 10 years, dude.
I love it. I still love it.
That's a terrible choice.
It's still great.
You should have gone with Celtic opera singers.
Oh man.
Azrael,
Gosh.
you're next.
Let's go with One Hit Wonders.
Ooh.
One hit. Okay.
I'll do athletes turned actors.
All right. Okay, Azrael.
Let's go with soundtracks.
Hmm.
Soundtracks. Okay. Mike.
I'm curious. Famous animals. Let's do it.
All right.
Just go for it.
I want to know.
Ezra?
Let's go with hits of the 2000s.
All right. And Mike, your final pick.
Oh, choose well, guys. Let's do awards and accolades.
Okay.
Oh.
And last but not least, Ezra, your final category.
Let's go with awkward moments.
Nice.
I'm very curious about that category too.
All right. Okay. Now you guys go ahead and riff a little bit while I pull all those cards out of the deck here.
So Nick,
Hey.
Yeah, Mike.
let's get into it. Let's get into a debate here.
Debate about
You
what?
guys go into like Origins or Gen Con, any place?
Nah,
like
we
that?
want to. We just don't have the money to go to any of them. We really want to go to like Dice Tower Con, Origins, Gen Con. We really want to go on the Dice Tower Cruise, but we just next year we're gonna like try to set a budget to get to. We've gone to like a lot of local conventions. Like we went to MeepleCon in Vegas. I just went to Strategic Con, and so we're trying to get to more conventions and stuff. But like, yeah, it's just there's none on the West Coast. They're all they're all like Texas and East, and so like it's tough because like they're for us to get to them, we always have to travel really far and then get a hotel and stuff. So it's just we're not near any of them. And
since we have kind of a year, since they're all kind of happening now, the plan is to budget for next year and at least
next year. Next year we'll all go to Origins and we'll all stay at Kirk's house.
Yeah, let's
do it. If you guys want to make the 2-hour drive with me, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I'm down,
I'll
man.
have you.
We could hang out with your dogs and stuff.
Write it down.
Yeah,
awesome. What about you, Ashval? Are you going to any of them?
I'm gonna be at Gen Con this year. I'm gonna be working the Restoration Games booth.
Really? Okay.
They're flying me out and setting me up.
So about retro
I'm
stuff.
really excited about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be getting on the Tom has the Live Dice Tower podcast.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll have a little segment on that. That's I can't wait for August. There's only 80-something days left to go, and I'm super excited.
Have you been before?
Counting down the days. No, this is my first time.
I hear it's bananas.
And this convention has been going on for 50 years, and this is my first time.
Has it really?
Yeah, 50th anniversary. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
I didn't know that either, but I've always
Restoration Games is so perfect for you because you're all into the retro games, and that's kind of what they're restoring. So it works out. And Suzanne just got hired with them too, right?
Suzanne just got hired. They reached out to me before they even announced last year at Gen Con about the company. So we're working with Justin Jacobson, Rob Davio from the Legacy team.
Okay, cool.
It's just really great. I'm having an awesome time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Killing it, man. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see what you guys get into out there.
I'm ready to go when you are. My son came in and knocked my cards over, so it took me a while to get them organized here.
But we're having a grand old time.
Tell him to go to bed.
I'm ready to start whenever you are. So, Azrael, I'll ask you now to enter the roll and move booth of silence.
Okay, I'm out.
This is my favorite thing.
I know, this is the best part.
Just staring at him in his little box.
We're working on getting theme music for the.
We should.
He says, "Stump the chump, gonna jump a stump." What? That's the first shot.
All right. Okay. Mike, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question 1: theme parks. What does Epcot stand for?
Oh, you better know this. His girlfriend is the biggest Disney fan and will break up with him if he doesn't get this right. So, you better know.
Oh, it ends on tomorrow. It's oh my gosh. I've asked Casey like 4 times while we're at Epcot. She's like, "What does it stand for?" It's something.
You can pass and come back if you like.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna think on it.
All right,
come on,
pass. Okay. Martin Scorsese.
Yes.
Goodfellas is a story of what real life gangster?
Don't know.
Okay. Are you passing or you don't know?
I don't know. It's not gonna.
Okay. All right. Dang. Okay. Professional wrestling. Who was Shawn Michaels' tag team partner in the Rockers?
Oh God, Triple H.
No.
Dang.
One hit wonders.
Should have picked that one.
Who sang "Tainted Love"?
Tainted love. Don't remember. Pass.
All right. Athletes turned
Going
actors.
great.
Who played Robert Jefferson in The Dirty Dozen? Athletes turned actors.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Thank you.
Incorrect. Soundtrack. Who sang "Can't Stop the Feeling" on the Troll soundtrack?
Justin Timberlake.
Correct.
Oh, thank God.
Famous animals.
Yeah,
What was
so
the
excited.
onset nickname? What was the onset nickname given to the mechanical shark in Jaws?
Bruce.
Correct.
Why'd you know?
Because I don't know.
Hits of the 2000s. What band had hits in the 2000s with songs like "Bam Boom Bam Pow" and "I Got a Feeling"?
The Black Eyed Peas.
Correct. I'll remind you, you still have your phone and brother.
Yes.
Don't phone me on any of the ones you passed.
Awards and accolades. What actress won both an Oscar and an Emmy in 1997?
Oh, 1997. What would have been out? Holly Hunter.
Incorrect.
Dang.
Awkward moments.
Yes.
Kanye West famously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 VMAs. What video was he arguing in favor of?
Oh God, Beyonce's video. What would that have been? 2009. You said?
Yes,
Single ladies.
correct.
Oh,
Going back to your past,
yes.
what does
Coming to you,
Epcot
Nick.
stand for?
Okay, all I remember is that we guessed last time and we were wrong, which
Okay.
doesn't help us now. But I feel like it's something we don't expect. And use me on this one because I'm not gonna know the other one. So
God, it's the something planned civilization of tomorrow. The estimated plan civilization of civilization of tomorrow.
No, not estimated. What is it? It's
I'm phoning you and Nick. You go for this one.
I'm
Go
not,
ahead.
I'm not gonna help.
You have 5 seconds. I'm somewhere.
Okay, there's
in the
gotta be a
ballpark.
Disney book in here. Can we see it?
Just go for it. Throw it out.
Oh, I don't know, dude. Expecto Patronum.
Caught. That's it.
Yep.
Boom.
They're melding, you know, universes.
Hopefully we got close. That's it.
They've worked out a deal with WB.
Don't think I have it.
Okay, and one hit wonders. Who sang "Tainted Love"?
Oh man.
What year was it?
I
Or
do not
do
have
you know
the
that?
year on it. It's
Okay.
80s.
Yeah,
Sometimes in the 80s.
I've seen it like on Pandora. The Righteous Brothers. Boom.
Incorrect. All right, you got 4 correct. So
Cool,
that's
I
not
don't
a
know.
bad score.
I don't
Way
know
to take
how-
down Azrael, Mike. I would have done
So-
better.
We'll see how Azrael does. We'll wave him down, get him to come out of the booth. Okay, Azrael. Mike had a pretty good showing.
All right, you have officially won Stump the Chump. Move on to the next segment.
Nick,
come on, man.
he used Nick wisely, so you're on your
Yeah,
own
it didn't
here,
work out.
and we'll see how you do. Azrael, you ready to start?
I
Does
am ready to
Azrael get to
start.
call me? When he-
If he wants to, sure. All right.
Cool.
Okay, Azrael, question number 1. Theme
I'll
park.
sabotage him.
Okay.
What does
Theme
Epcot
parks.
stand for?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, already starting with a hard one. Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Correct.
Yes, that's right. That's what I said. It's not what
Martin
I said.
Scorsese. In Goodfellas, Goodfellas is a story of what real-life gangster?
Oh my gosh, his name is oh, I should know this. I was just watching that last week too.
Billy.
Let me
Crystal.
pass on that one real quick.
Pass. All right.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling. Who was Shawn Michaels' tag team partner in the Rockers?
Marty Jannetty.
Correct.
I
One hit
remember.
wonders. Who sang "Tainted Love"?
I know this one too. Jeez. I'm having a mental block. Soft Cell.
Correct. Athletes turned actors. Who played Robert Jefferson in The Dirty Dozen?
Robert Jefferson and the Dirty Dozen. This is athletes played.
Athletes turned actors.
Repeat the question, please.
Who played Robert Jefferson in The Dirty Dozen?
I'm gonna have to. I don't even know about that one. I don't know.
All right. Soundtracks. Who sang "Can't Stop the Feeling" on the Trolls soundtrack?
Pass.
Pass. All right. Famous animals. What was the on-set nickname given to the mechanical shark in Jaws?
It was a common name. It was a name. It was a name.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce.
Correct. Okay, hits in the 2000s. What band had hits in the 2000s with songs like "Boom Boom Pow" and "I Got a Feeling"?
Black Eyed Peas.
Correct. Awards. What actress won both an Oscar and an Emmy in 1997?
97. Frances McDormand.
Incorrect. Awkward moments. Kanye West famously interrupted Taylor Swift's acceptance speech at the 2009 VMAs. What video was he arguing in favor of?
All the Pretty Ladies.
Judges? Incorrect. Going back to your passes. Martin Scorsese. Goodfellas is the story of what real life gangster?
His name was oh man, I can picture it in my head. Hank Hill.
Correct. Soundtracks. Who sang "Can't Stop the Feeling" on the Trolls soundtrack?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Justin Timberlake.
Ah!
And with a score of 5-4, Asdrubal remains undefeated. I'll tell you what, guys.
Excited.
Mike, that's the closest anyone's come to beating him yet.
Oh,
You guys were tied going into
Those
when we
It's a
reviewed.
tough one.
Yeah, when we went back
Those were hard questions, man.
You guys picked the categories.
That's true.
The title of the Beyonce song. I know the lyrics.
Single
All
ladies.
the pretty
Single
ladies.
All the single
Yeah.
all the
Pretty
single
ladies.
And let's see. The Emmy-winning actress was Helen Hunt for
You said
Mad
Helen
About
Hunter.
You and As Good
Come
as It
on.
Gets.
I can't
and
believe
what
you got
else?
that. You just said her name wrong.
No, I said Holly Hunter purposefully, but I just happened to be close to Helen.
Oh, I
Hunt.
thought you said Helen Hunter. I was like, really?
No.
Athletes turned actor.
I was 1 year off.
Jim Brown was the actor in
Jim
Dirty
Brown,
Dozen.
okay.
Cool.
And I think that's you guys got everything else. Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, that was impressive. I thought you guys had them there for a second. I mean, you guys were on, and I'm glad you didn't
So
tie
close.
because I didn't have a tiebreaker ready. I was supposed to time you, but I forgot. So if you would have tied, that would have been messy. So,
All came
but
down to Epcot.
thanks
I
for
knew
playing,
it was
guys.
around it. No.
Yeah,
That was
And
fun.
that was awesome. Like I said, this has been a longer episode for us, but I think it was worth it. It was a really good conversation. I had a great time. Hope you guys did too. Before we sign
blast.
off, Nick and Mike, anything you guys want to promote? Anything you guys got coming up soon?
More of our segments on Thrift Store Throwbacks on Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower, but we're also again launching and getting our own YouTube channel just at Brothers Murph going. So we're going to be having kind of extended cuts of things that we've been doing for Dice Tower and also kind of just special things just for you guys. So just Brothers Murph on Twitter and YouTube, and then his art at.
Oh yeah, I'm an artist. That's mostly what I do. So it's art.nickmurphy on Instagram. Check out my stuff.
Super cool stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I will put links in the description for all that, so everybody can check that out. And definitely,
Cool.
we would have you guys back. And when
Yeah,
you
we
get
had
that
a
YouTube
blast.
channel going, we really want to check, hear more about that, what you guys got going on. Azrael,
Sure.
how about you? What's going on? What's going on in your world?
Just every other Thursday on Board Game Blender, I do the retro board game segment. And if anybody's going to be at Gen Con, I will be at the Restoration Games booth. Stop and
jealous.
say hello.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, and yeah, it is. Origins starts, if you're watching this live, starts tomorrow, I believe. So if you're going, have a great time. I will be there Saturday. So if you have to see me wandering around, and I'm not going to be, nobody's invited me to their booth or anything, but if you do see me, say hi, and I'll wave back. Thanks for coming on again, guys. It was awesome. Really great show. I hope to have you guys on again, and we will see you all soon.
All right, thanks for
Bye.
having
Thank you
us.
guys.
Bye.
Woo.
Absolutely.